That's a good question, though. Liz says, hey, guys, thanks for the Hump Day Hangouts. Been watching for a while, and I have a question. What do you see being the most important thing to do for keyword research in 2019? Any big changes? What tools do you think you'll be using moving forward? Any big changes? That's a really good question. Most important things to do for keyword research in 2019. Well, considering I'm focusing solely on local stuff right now, I'm not doing any affiliate marketing. I'm not doing any real national stuff. I'm just, well, not yet. I've got a big project coming up, but I'm right now, everything I'm working on is primarily like just local stuff. So for me, keyword discovery through GMB Insights is huge. I'm seeing like, and I've been saying this now for weeks or if not months, but today I was actually developing out some more keywords, going through insights from many of my lead gen assets and looking at the keywords that are bringing the traffic to the GMB listing, the maps listing. And what I'm finding is just an enormous amount of near me search queries. And so I'm targeting more and more near me stuff than anything right now. And that's because we're speaking directly to the mobile algorithm at that time. And it's just working like crazy. I mean, guys, I'm seeing as much as 50 and even 60% of the engagement coming to my GMB listings now through near me keywords. It's insane. And it's crazy some of the search queries that are like bringing, like variations of some of the keywords and the way that people, and all that kind of data is new. Those are new type of queries, a lot of them. In other words, there's not a lot of historical data on that stuff is my point. And so I think using GMB Insights in Search Console, if you're doing more, maybe not necessarily local stuff, but Search Console, if you have Search Console, go do keyword discovery from there, and you'll see what your site is getting impressions from. And I think that's really, really important, guys, to see what Google thinks about your site, and when it gives it impressions, puts it in the search results. And in Search Console is really good data for that, guys, because you can find queries or terms that were used that your site got exposure for that you didn't even know you have potential to get traffic from, right? And then and just because you get exposure doesn't mean that you're going to get traffic, because you could be on page 9. And so in Search Console, if you select the option to see the position, the average position, then it'll show you the impressions, the number of clicks, and in the average position. And like I said, if you look and you see a lot of impressions but no clicks, if you check the average position, it typically means because you're on page 2 or 3 or anywhere beyond that, right? Because remember, where do you hide a dead body? On page 2 of Google, right? So anything really off of page 1 is very, very rarely going to get any clicks. But if you're getting impressions, that means Google's already aware that your site is relevant to that query. So those are really good opportunities, in my opinion, to optimize and find new sources of traffic that you would have otherwise overlooked. So for me, besides the tried and true using Google Ads for discovery, using a alpha beta campaign structure, I love that. It still works really, really well. But then using Search Console and GMB Insights. As far as tools, I still don't use any tools other than the ones that I've always mentioned, which is I use Google Trends as my starting point at all times. And then I use Power Suggest Pro. And I use the Google Keyword Planner sometimes because I do a lot of AdWords stuff. But I really just look at that to see if there's any traffic data from the keywords that I've extracted from Google Trends and from Power Suggest Pro. But whether or not it shows traffic or not, I don't care, because if it's in Google Trends or Suggest, I already know there's traffic on those keywords. It just might mean that people aren't bidding on those keywords, and that's why there's no AdWords traffic or AdWords Keyword Planner data, in other words. So that's my answer. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Yeah, my thing is once I start going in Google My Business, I'm just a total fan of being inside GMB. Local GMB Pro it just makes things so simple. The thing is that the data that you get in Insights is really hyper targeted, meaning that it goes by unique user. And I'll give you Mario's Cab as an example, because they're still getting tons of traffic, even though we stopped posting for them for lack of payment. But I would have never thought to post with the keyword just taxi or just cab,
yeah,
or a cab. And that listing got people to come through by just looking for the word keyword taxi or cab. Who would think that you could rank for that, or that you could get people to come through to their listing for that? It's like, if you have a TLD, that's impossible, right? Or nearly impossible. The money that you'd have to spend to get to that level where you're getting traffic for taxi is incredible. But through GMB, we were able. I just saw last month, 20 people came through using the word taxi.
Yeah,
And
I'm pulling it up right now. That's why I paused my screen.
okay, 12 came through using the word cab. And Google tells you most popular queries for your business by unique users. So these are people who actually found the listing through that. It's phenomenal. It's
Look at
incredible.
this. Look at this, guys. And then I haven't done any work for this listing in 3 months now, maybe. And it's still benefiting from the work that I did, which was really only about, the initial optimization. And then I had a VA that was posting to it regularly. And then when payments stopped coming in, we canceled or suspended the service. But it's still benefiting. Look, in just the last month, look at the number of engagements that it's gotten and the keywords that brought it. Taxi near me, cab companies near me. What was I talking about the near me keywords, guys? Remember I just said that? Look at the number one search query, taxi near me, cab company near me, number 2, cab near me, cabs near me. If we go scroll through, I know these are saying less than 10, but you're still going to see a lot of different near me or in my area, close to me, close by, those are variations of near me search queries. And it's huge. And like Marco said, Taxi brought 20 engagements in the last month. Does that make sense for just the word taxi, just the word cab? And again, and I've said this many, many times, I would have always mainly dealing in local for my entire career. I have always targeted the keywords with a local modifier, especially with a real short tail keyword like taxi, for example, or plumber or roofer or something like that. I would always optimize for the local modifier, which would be the city name appended to the keyword. But now, because what had just occurred in July with the mobile index first, it's no longer necessary, and we're proving it through insights, which is actual data from Google, from engagements that occurred on our GMB assets or the assets that we manage. And the point is, like, we're seeing that we're getting traffic from just short single phrase keywords in this case, and we're getting direct traffic for it, of which I would have never attempted to optimize for, or at least I would have known that it would be a dogfight to rank for in the traditional old school SEO methods. But because so much shifted in July of this year, that's what opened up all this opportunity. And again, that's why my keyword research methods really haven't changed, except that I'm doing much more discovery through Google Search Console and GMB Insights now than I ever had before. So that was a good example, Marco. Thanks.